Hey everyone, it's Pickleball with Tyler with Universal Rackets, and in this video we're going to be teaching you how to never pop up your third shot drops again. We're going to be going over all the reasons why players are popping up their drops. We're going to be going over the new swing path that you can use to create topspin on your drops. The goal of the third shot drop is to keep the ball low and force your opponent to hit up. If you pop the ball up in the air, the person up at the kitchen is going to be able to make contact above the net and swing down into the court. If you stay tuned for this whole video, we're going to be going over tips, tricks, and strategies for you to get your drops low and at your opponent's feet and to force them to hit up rather than hit down to get you up to the kitchen, get more opportunities, and win more pickleball points. So make sure you buckle your seatbelts and stay tuned because this is going to be an amazing video. Let's go. Now, the number one reason, in my opinion, why players pop up their drops is because they're holding their paddle too tight. If you hold your paddle too tight when you hit a third shot drop, you're going to pop the ball up. I want you to think of your drop kind of like you're hitting a dink. You need to absorb the pace of the ball. If you hold your paddle tight, what it's going to force the paddle to do is to swing more upward rather than more forward. Notice, if I hold my paddle straight out and I hold it loose, look what's going to happen. My paddle's automatically going to go down because of gravity. However, if I hold my paddle tight, look what's going to happen. It's going to force my paddle to be straight up. Watch this. If I'm loose, here's my contact point. It's more forward. If I hold the paddle tight when I swing, look what happens. It automatically forces the player to hit the ball up. Your paddle face is going to be facing upward instead of forward. So the number one thing that you need to do is hold the paddle loose and absorb the pace of the ball rather than really going to hit it. The best drill to do is to A, hold your paddle with your index finger and your thumb to really get a feel for that looseness, or B, squeeze your dominant wrist with your non-dominant hand. You're going to be focusing on the squeeze and not gripping your paddle to really get that loose type of feel. And the last thing that you can do is throw the ball up in the air, maybe 1 or 2 feet, and just working on catching it with the paddle. If you hold the paddle tight, you're not going to be able to absorb the ball, the momentum, and keep the ball in the paddle. What's going to happen is if you hold it tight, it's going to bounce up. So once again, just work on tossing the ball up and really releasing your grip, loosening up your grip so you can absorb the ball rather than holding it tight and popping the ball up. So the first thing that you have to do once again is hold the paddle loose and absorb the pace rather than swinging. A lot of players, they end up doing this because they think that the third shot drop is the exact same motion as a third shot drive. Remember, when I hit a drive, I take the paddle back and I swing forward and through. For the drop, I'm not swinging forward and through. I'm getting under and I'm pushing it. Again, the drive, I'm taking my paddle back and swinging forward and through. The drop, I'm getting under and I'm pushing it. I'm getting under and I'm lifting the ball. This goes to the next reason why players end up popping their drops. It's because they're in the same exact paddle position when they hit their drives. For their drives, you want your paddle back and you want to swing forward. A lot of players, they end up trying to hit their drops exactly like this. Yes, you can hit a slice forehand drop, but if you want to really be able to execute a good forehand drop and not pop it up, you can't be in this drive grip. If your paddle is horizontal and you try to get under it and swing it, it's probably going to be a tiny bit high unless the ball's in the perfect contact point. Again, a lot of players, they end up going like this. What you need to do is you need to make sure that your paddle tip is always downward. By positioning my paddle tip downward, that's going to force me, when I proceed with my swing, to get under and lift the ball rather than come around the ball. It's not like this, it's like this. I want you to think that you're doing a scooping motion. You're putting your paddle tip down and then you're scooping the ball up and you're lifting it up over the net. So again, you want to put your paddle tip down and you want to scoop it upward. The best way to do this is to start out like a dink and then work your way back. The difference between a dink and a third shot drop at a beginner intermediate level is distance. How do we get more distance? It's very simple. You need to swing more forward. When I'm hitting a dink, all I'm doing is I'm just pushing the ball to cover a short distance. Back here, I really need to swing forward to create that distance, and also I need to create up. Start when you are up. I need to go forward to create that distance, and then also I need to swing up. A great drill to do if you feel like you're ever popping the ball up too much or even hitting the ball in the net is start as a dink, and then all you're going to do is take a step back. And then notice the further back you get, the more forward you have to hit. The word that I'm using that I want you guys to really understand is forward. You have to swing forward and then up. Too many players, where they go wrong is all they do when they hit their drop is they swing up. If you swing up, that's when you're going to pop the ball up. Notice when I hit the drop, once again, I'm not just swinging up to the sky. If I swing up, I'm going to pop the ball up. Where players go wrong, and players who frequently pop up their third shot drops, is it's because they don't think that they're swinging forward. I need to hit through the ball and then up. I don't just need to swing up. You need to swing through to carry that ball forward, and then you need to finish up to lift the ball. Again, notice when I swing through to carry the ball forward, and then I swing up. I'm literally going forward and then up. If you feel like you pop up your drops, what I want you to think is instead of hitting through one ball, I want you to think that you're hitting through 1, 2, 3 balls before you finish with your paddle upward. Notice I'm not just hitting through one ball and going up, I'm hitting through 1, 2, 3 balls and then finishing upward. Another way to think of it is you want to make your stroke longer. You want to think that you're going as forward as much as possible, and then you're finishing upward. A great way to ensure that you're finishing upward and you have this proper swing path, once you are done, notice where my paddle is. It's out in front and my paddle faces up, so I can really balance a ball. So just work on, again, going for your drop and then holding a ball in the paddle. Throw a ball and try to catch it and keep it still. If you do this and you just hit up through one, you're not going to be able to do this. The ball's going to fall right off. If you go through 1, 2, 3, now you're going to be able to do it. If you feel like you pop your drops up frequently, try swinging a tiny bit more forward compared to when you normally hit, and that should make a big difference. The next thing that you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you really keep your wrist loose. I'm not just talking about your grip right now, I am talking about your wrist. A lot of players, where they go wrong is that they make their wrist bend and they have tension in the wrist. Unless you're Ben Johns and you're hitting this type of shovel drop, which is a brand new shot that he's using, it's pretty cool. I still can't master it. You want to make sure you have some give in your wrist. I want you to think again, absorb. Absorb is the whole goal. If my wrist is super firm, again, the ball's going to bounce. I need to absorb it. So make sure you really have your wrist just not dangling, not super loose, but not super tight. You shouldn't feel tension in the inside of your wrist. So really have your wrist absorb the ball and just go forward and finish upward. If you ever feel like you pop up your drops, once again, swing more forward. The next thing that we're going to go over, and this is why we have a side view here, is contact point. You want to make sure that you make contact out in front of you. If you make contact too close to your body, it's going to be super difficult to keep that ball down at your opponent's feet. I want you to watch again. The first couple seconds of my shot, I swing forward and then I swing upward. If I just go right here and I try to hit the ball, I'm going to have to swing upward. I'm not going to be able to go forward. I'm not going to be able to hit through 3 shots. You need to make contact out in front of your body so you can really go to the ball. Another way that you can think of it is bowling. When you bowl or you're doing a beanbag toss, you're not just tossing the ball straight up in there. You're tossing the ball out and up to where your target is. If you're bowling or if you're doing cornhole, the exact same thing. You're going out, so make sure your contact is out in front and away from your body. A great drill to do to ensure contact is stick your hand straight out. Instead of 12 o'clock, you're going to put it at 1 o'clock. And all you're going to do is you're just going to drop the ball and then you're going to do your drop. Again, you're going to drop the ball and then do your drop. If you're a lefty, it's going to be 11 o'clock and you're going to drop the ball and do your drop. Notice I'm always out here I'm never in here. That is going to make a huge difference. The next thing that's going to help you a ton is the height of the ball. A lot of players, where they go wrong with their drop is they try to get to the ball, and they're actually getting to the ball too quick. If I get to the ball and I hit the ball on the way up, I'm going to hit the ball forward. I need this ball to bounce, go up, stop at the apex, and you want to hit it right when it gets to the peak of going up and it starts to go down. I'm not bouncing and then going to the ball. I'm not hitting the ball on its way up. I'm going to let it bounce, hit the apex, and then go. I'm hitting the ball on its way down. It is very different. Again, I'm not just going up to the ball. I'm waiting and then I'm going. I'm hitting the ball at its peak or when it's a slight bit on its way down. If you feel like you end up popping your drops up too much, are you hitting the ball too early? Again, remember, right now, if you're hitting your drops up too high, A, is your paddle loose or is it tight? Are you hitting or are you absorbing the shot? B, is your paddle in the proper position? Is it like this or is it like this? C, are you swinging forward? Try to swing a little bit more forward rather than upward. And D, make sure that you're making contact out in front away from your body rather than super close. By doing this, this is going to help you a ton and you're going to be able to troubleshoot. When you hit on the rise, it's a great way to take time away from your opponents for the drives, for returns, different types of shots. But for the drops, you have to be patient. A great thing to do is if you feel like you're not confident, this helped me a ton. About a year ago, I was in a funk with my drops, is what I did is I literally just waited a split second longer. Instead of just wait and come for the ball, you literally feel like you're going to wait and then go. Know this though, the reason why we went over this after we went over contact, you have to make sure you're still out in front. So make sure you don't wait for the ball to get to you and do this. Well, Tyler said, wait, no, you position your body so you have good contact. That was too far out in front, and then go to the ball, and that's going to help a ton. The next thing that we can do is we can get a little bit more topspin on our drops. If you want to get topspin on your drops, I want you to think about it like this with your paddle. A lot of people think that topspin drops, you have to be a higher level pickleball player in order to do this, and the truth is you really don't. All you have to do is understand this motion. All you have to do is point your paddle tip down, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go around the ball. You're going to kind of do like a sideways wave. So hold your wave straight out, tilt your wave to the side, and then just go like this. That is how you hit topspin. With the paddle, I'm going to point my paddle straight down, and then I'm literally going to come around the ball. My paddle's going to be down, and then I'm going to come around the ball. Notice when I come around the ball, I'm never turning my wrist. I'm just going up the back of it. By doing this, it's going to allow me to really get the back of the ball and create that spin that I want to get. So literally point your paddle down and then go around with the ball. A great way to ensure that you do this is literally think paddle tip down, face forward, and then once you're done, your paddle tip's going to be pointing forward and your paddle frame's going to be facing upward. So think paddle face forward, paddle tip forward, paddle face forward, paddle tip forward, or paddle tip down, paddle tip forward, or paddle tip down, frame pointing upward, and just work on doing this type of motion. What I would recommend is start up at the kitchen and then just work your way back. So you're going to start at the kitchen, and then every single time that you get it in, you're going to just take a step back every single time. So you're going to be here, and again, I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to finish here. Start here, finish here. So I'm going to start here, finish here, and then I'm going to take a step back. And just work on, again, really getting around the ball. I'm getting around the ball when I hit. I'm getting around the ball when I hit. By doing this, that's going to help me create topspin a ton. A great tip that I like personally, and different tips work for different people, not one size fits all, but I like to put my finger on up above my paddle. The reason why is it really allows me to maneuver the paddle more, and I can really grip the side of the ball. Now, if you're able to master this type of topspin shot by, again, starting up the kitchen and then working your way back, now you're going to be able to hit the ball and it's going to dive into the court rather than just float up. Topspin allows you to dip the ball in rather than float the ball up. So again, I'm going to start with my paddle face here. I'm going to just work on going around. Start with my paddle face here, go around. One more. Paddle face here, go around. There we are, that was it. So paddle face here, go around. Paddle face here, paddle frame up or tip forward. Now, the next thing that you have to do is you have to troubleshoot. If the ball goes super long when you hit your drops, what does that mean? You have to go more forward. We already went over that. But if the ball goes in the net, what does that mean? You have to get under the ball. If you're hitting the ball in the net, that means you're not lifting the ball up. You're not getting under it. So what you need to do is if your ball ever goes in the net, it's probably because you're making contact at your drop like this and you're coming on top rather than really getting under and scoop it. So notice when I made that miss for that demonstration, the next one I really got into my legs. I want you to think if the ball ever goes in the net when you're hitting a drop, get under, lower your legs, drop your paddle. If the ball ever goes high, what are you going to do? You're going to swing more forward, and that's going to help you a ton. The next thing that we have to do is we have to make sure our body is in the proper position. Now, when I pop up my drops, this is probably the #1 reason why I do so. For me personally, and what you're going to realize is everyone's going to have certain errors that they're going to do at a certain time. If I pop my drop up, this is what I do for myself personally. Maybe other people, they hold the paddle too tight. Or maybe other people, they just swing up. For me personally, when I pop my drop up, by doing this so much, I learned that I automatically have to do this. And if I ever hit my drops in the net, what do I have to do? I have to get under it. So this is me. I'm the main culprit for this. If I ever pop the drop up super high, it's because I like to play tennis and I'm always falling on my back foot. When I hit my drop again, when I pop my drops up, I'm always falling on my back foot. Well, that was a good one. I got lucky. But what you need to make sure that you do is your body is forward when you hit. Your body is balanced when you hit. Your body is controlled when you hit. A lot of times players go wrong, including myself every time when I pop it up. It's because you're falling back. You want to make sure that when you finish, look, I'm finishing forward. Even though I popped it up a tiny bit, look, this is how I want to be. I want to be forward when I hit. I don't want to be falling out. Once I'm done, or once you're done, if someone came to move you right now, not giant push, not a shove, but if they tried to move you, you should have a balanced foundation. If I'm like this falling on my back foot and you try to push me, I'm going to fall right over. You need to make sure that you're balanced every single time that you try to hit your drop. So how do we be balanced? A, we drop our center of gravity. B, we get into our legs. And C, we adjust our feet to the ball. If we're getting too jammed, if that ball's getting too close to me, this is why I like to fall off my back foot. Instead of letting the ball get close to me and then falling out of it, I need to get behind the ball and then finish forward. Notice, this is why we said from the start that our contact point has to be out in front. Again, instead of, and this is probably because I coach more than I play, the ball comes to me, it's coming here, and then I play off my back foot. Instead, the ball's right here. I need to move back, and then I need to finish forward. This is my contact point right here. In order to get my contact point right here, I need to make sure I move back. Now, after you move back, though, you have to make sure you finish forward. You don't just play off your back foot. It is very unlikely. You're probably going to hit it 1 for every 20 times. I hit it once off my back foot in, but that's not going to be sustainable when you hit. You need to make sure you move back and then you finish forward. So you get back behind the ball and then you finish forward. Notice, I need to always, again, I get back and then I finish forward and I hold my finish. And that's going to be the next thing, holding my finish. A lot of players, the main culprit why they are not getting their drops low, they're popping their balls up, is because they're thinking about the next shot. Yes, you need to think about the next shot. Yes, you should really be anticipating your next shot, especially if you hit a good drop. But a lot of players where they go wrong is that they stop or they try to get the ball in and then they move up to the kitchen. If I stop, if I don't finish my shot, if I don't really hold it, if I don't elongate my stroke, what's going to happen? I'm not going to be able to swing forward and I'm going to pop the ball up. And that's why we explained that at the start. You have to swing forward. You're going to end up popping the ball up if you don't finish your shot. So you need to make sure you really finish and then move forward. You don't just finish kinda and then move up, or not want to pop it up and then move up. If you think Don't pop it up, don't pop it up, don't pop it up. What's going to happen? You're going to pop the ball up. Remember my favorite quote in pickleball, to gain control, you have to give up control. Now I'm out of balls, I'm gonna go pick them up and then we'll keep on going. Let's go. Fuck. Hello? Now that is the next thing. If you continually say, don't pop the drop up, don't pop the drop up, don't pop it up, or if you continually think that you are, what's going to happen? You're going to eventually pop it up. You are what you think. It's the exact same thing with this, the law of attraction. You have to have confidence in your drops. And the best way to develop confidence in your drops isn't to actually go out and play competitively, it's to drill. Think about the Bruce Lee quote. You don't fear one person that practices 1,000 kicks 1,000 times. You fear one person that practices one kick 1,000,000 times. You're practicing this shot over and over again. Where players go wrong is that they'll hit it one time, they'll try to do it instead of driving the ball, and then they'll never do it again because they pop the ball up and they never want to practice. So what you need to make sure that you do is you get a drilling partner, you get a ton of balls, or you even self-feed, and I'm literally going to hit 1,000 of balls. And when I do it, I'm troubleshooting. So again, if I hit the ball in the net, okay, I gotta get under it more. If I hit the ball too high, what do I have to do? Hit it forward. The way to get good at your drops, to get confidence at your drops, is to what? Do it over and over again to the point that you can do them in your sleep. Again, where players go wrong is that they hit their drop and they're thinking about getting to the next shot, or they're thinking, oh, I need to control it, don't pop it up, don't pop it up, and what do? They end up popping their shots up. You need to make sure, again, you have confidence in your drop and you fully finish. Now, with our momentum, you want it to be forward, and you also want it to be forward because what? You're going to hit it, and then you're going to move up to the kitchen so you can get to the next shot. So make sure you hit and you move forward up with your momentum and up with your body as well. That's going to help. So notice, I'm kind of hitting, I'm moving forward, finishing my shot. I can balance the ball on the paddle, right? And that's a great way, if you can do it, that's going to help. So again, I'm going to lift, here we are, finish. Look, I can catch the ball and then go up. Another great way to ensure that you finish your shot while moving forward, because it's really difficult to do two things at one time, is think that you're getting into your ready position. Your follow through for your drop, that was a little bit high. What did I do? I swung too fast and I held the paddle too tight. So what am I going to absorb it more? One more, here we are. So I gotta be even looser and go more forward, right? You gotta go forward, there we are. Look, this is a huge tip for you right now. You guys ready? You're going to follow through into your ready position. If you want faster hands up at the kitchen, up in transition, a lot of players go wrong because they run up and they're like this. When you hit your drop, watch what you're going to do. You're going to hit your drop, you're going to follow through into your ready position. Again, I'm going to hit my drop, and look, you can even make sure that you get topspin because you're finishing like this, right? And then what are you going to do? You're going to make sure you're in your ready position. So if you're the kitchen right now, or say if the baseline's the kitchen right now, I'm going to hit, move forward, and then already have my paddle out. Again, where players go wrong is that they hit and they stop and then they go up, or they don't even have their hands up. If you can think that you're getting into your ready position, not only you're going to be ready for a next shot, but you're going to ensure that you are fully followed through. So again, just work on doing some feeds, hitting, and then following through so you're ready for the next shot. The next thing that you need to do is, if you feel like you're prone to popping your drops up in the air, go cross court and not down the line. The longest distance between 2 points is diagonal, and then also if you look at the center of the net, it's a bit shorter than the sides. This drop right here, oh my gosh, this drop, okay, so what did I do? Made two wrong, so what do I have to do? I have to really get under the ball. Here we are, get under and lift. That drop right there is way more difficult to hit than that drop over here. And what do I have to do? Get under it. Here we are. Okay, too high, so I got to go forward. Oh my gosh, now I got to get under. Come on. Here we are, get under. And there we are. You have it, folks. Self-feeding drops are kind of difficult, especially when you want to make it for YouTube. But notice, what am I doing? And then we'll get back into it. Is what am I doing? Hit the ball in the net. Okay, get under it. I hit the ball too long. What do? Swing more forward. Get under it, swing more forward. And I go back and forth to find the happy medium. And here's another thing. To not pop your drops up or not hit a bad drop is to not do the same mistakes 3 times in a row. Notice I hit 2 in the net, but then where was the third one? The third one was kind of high. If you hit 2 balls in the net, make sure the next ball is up to the moon. If you hit 2 balls super high, make sure the next ball is in the net. When you're doing these drops, constantly adjust to find the happy medium. I never want you to ever hit 3 drops in the net or 3 drops super high. You're going to have to do jumping jacks or sprints or push-ups or whatever you're working on, right? So what you have to do is you have to make sure you continually make the adjustment, and again, go cross court every single time. If you can go cross court, that's going to be extremely high percentage. You're going to have more distance for it to drop down into the court. The next thing that we have to go over is to not be afraid to play with height. I understand that this video is all about not popping up your drops, and we're giving you all the tools, tips, and tricks to do so. But strategically, don't be afraid to go with a little height. A lot of players, they don't know how to take the ball out of the air instead of letting the ball bounce. So half the players that you play at a recreational level aren't even going to capitalize on a high drop. Your high drop that will be high for a good 4-5-5-0 player isn't going to be a high drop for a 2-5-3-0 or player at the park. So number one, realize that it is okay to play with a little bit of height. The next reason why is, how many times have you had a super high ball that you went to smash down and you automatically ended up missing it? If you hit the ball in the net, whose point is it? 100%. It doesn't matter if the sky comes falling down, it is their point. If you hit the ball up in the air like this, look how high. You probably can't even say it. This high, whose point is it? Is it 100% their point? Is it? No, they can still miss. The wind can happen. They can miscommunicate. It's a wiffle ball, so maybe even if they smash that ball, you can get it back. They maybe can miss an easy shot. Play with some height, you will be all right. If you try to go too low over the net, what's going to happen is you're going to automatically end the point rather than potentially prolonging the shot for one more. So you need to make sure you really get under the ball and you lift it and are okay to play with a tiny bit of height. Again, if it's too high though, think swinging more forward. Now, when we do this again, topspin, we're really going to get outside the ball and come around. So I'm going to do some topspin right now, really work on getting under and coming around. There we are, one more. Here we are, under and coming around. So it's too high, so what do I have to do? Maybe I should just get a ton of balls. If you have a ball shooter, this is amazing, but what? I have to go more forward. Okay, I have to get more under. Okay, I think I'm gonna just be done because I need to have this video. I'm not gonna delete it. Here we are, one more, come on, under. There we are, ding, ding, ding. And there we are. It's much difficult to self-feed drops rather than getting drops coming at you. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is, if the ball's ever high and it's behind, don't take it as a drop. Take it as a drive. Work on, if you want to hit better drops and you want to be more consistent with your drops, you have to be selective on what types of shot that you hit. If you can get back behind the ball and then finish forward like we worked on, then maybe you can make your dropping further back. But essentially, you want to hit drops when you're going into the court. Whenever you're going in and you're moving forward, look, I can really go up and come up to it. However, when I'm moving back, if I can't get behind the ball and finish forward, or maybe that's not even the best shot, if I'm getting pushed back, I probably want to drive the ball. So the next thing to limit you popping the balls up is to select the right ball to hit the drop on. Too many players, they go wrong because they're trying to drop off of these balls. It's going to be super difficult, and even if you do make it, so even if I can get back behind here, I hit it, I hit my drop, they're going to block it back, right? And then I have to run all the way up here if my partner isn't really poaching hard and they give them an opportunity. If you want to pop up less drops, be more selective of what type of shot you're trying to hit a drop off of. If the ball is inside the baseline or you're moving forward, then yes, hit a drop. But if it's back and it's pushing you back, drive that ball every single time. Don't be trying to hit a drop from here. Again, even if I made that shot like I did right there, I can make that, but not up here. What's going to happen? You're probably going to get a weak ball and you're going to have trouble getting up to it, or it's not going to be sustainable. So if you feel like you're popping your drops up and you don't understand why, your technique's good, everything's okay, 9 times out of 10, it's because you're not being selective with what type of shot you are trying to hit. Just to recap right now, and then we'll get into a couple more things, is remember, number one, make sure you hold the pedal loose, not tight. If it's tight, it's not going to be right. You need to have the paddle work for you and don't work for the paddle. Number two, make sure our swing path is in the proper position. You're getting under and you're lifting the ball. You're not hitting a drive and you're not just going up with your wrist. You're going forward. You're going forward and then up. You're balancing the ball on the paddle once you're done. We are really carrying the ball. We're lifting. We're fully following through. We're making sure we finish our shot before we get into our next shot. We're making sure that we have the right mindset. We're not thinking, don't pop it up, don't pop it up, don't pop it up. Because if we think about that, what are we going to do? We're probably going to end up popping the ball up. And last but not least, we're going cross court and we're being selective with our shots. The next thing that we can do is we can really start, if you feel like you end up popping your ball up, a lot of players end up popping their shots because their non-dominant hand isn't involved with their drops. And what I mean by this is when they hit, they're just using their dominant side of their body and they're not using both of their sides. Notice when I do this, right? Look at this half of my body when I hit. Look, here we are. Here we are. One more. Here we are. What am I doing? I'm getting this half involved. I'm using this hand and I'm dropping like this. And look, I'm raising this hand up. What I'm not doing is I'm not going like this or I'm not going like this. That's going to go forward. I'm going to pop it up. I'm always here. So what I want you to do is I want you to get both of your hands involved together. A lot of players, they end up popping their drops up because both of their sides of their bodies are not together. They're not synchronized. They're just using one side of their body, and that's why they're popping the shots up. A great drill to do is have someone feed you the ball or get a ball yourself, and all you're going to do is hold your paddle like this instead of like this. Hold your paddle like this with both hands, try to make contact, and then hit the drop. So you're literally going to do this. Here we are. You're going to go, and you're going to hit. Doesn't matter if you pop it up or not, but by doing this, look, it's using my right and my left hand, my whole body's together, rather than just going like this. Then after I do that, what am I going to do? I'm going to get a ball, I'm going to get two balls, and pretend again it's the exact same thing now. And look, my whole body is hitting. Now, by doing that, I'm able to rotate my body rather than just come under the ball and swing up. The more I can rotate my body, the more easier and user-friendly it is going to be to swing forward, the more easier it is going to be to carry the ball and really limit of how high I can. So if you want to make sure that you don't pop your drops up, think that you're using both halves of your body. The next thing that we have to do is really think about swing speed. You don't want to accelerate into your drops. Too many players go wrong because they end up swinging too fast into their shots, or they end up picking up too much speed throughout their whole swing. And we're going to get into that right now. And this right here, this probably comes from a drive. For a drive, you want to take your paddle back and you want to accelerate. You want to speed up your swing. However, for the drops, a lot of players go wrong because they unnecessarily accelerate into their shot. If I swing and then I speed up, I'm going to end up popping the ball up. Now, the only nuance for that, or our exception to that, is when you're hitting a topspin drive drop. So when you're kind of doing a hybrid drive drop. But whenever you're not doing a hybrid drive drop, that's when you want to, again, keep your swing at the same speed throughout your shot. You don't want to accelerate, or you don't want to decelerate as well. I want to hit, when I hit this shot, I'm keeping the same speed of my swing throughout. I'm not accelerating, I'm not slowing it down. I'm keeping the exact same speed. I'm using my momentum into the shot and keeping the same speed. And that's the next thing I want to get into. And we're crawling before we're walking. Now we're jogging a little bit. Is we have to really make sure we get into it with our momentum. To get power, it's not just from the swing. It is from your momentum. Where players go wrong is that they stop, they try to swing, and then they move up. If my body is stopped and all I'm doing is using my arm, I'm going to be extremely prone to popping the ball up in the air. Notice when I hit, I'm getting ball out front, I'm using my momentum and coming upward. If you can think that your momentum is coming from, or the power of the ball and the distance that you're getting is coming from your forward momentum rather than your swing, that's going to force you to pop less balls up. So again, when you're hitting, think that you're getting all the power from your forwardness momentum. You're not getting it from just using your arm and your shoulder. And that's where players go wrong. They rely too much on their arm and not the momentum. And that's why, again, we told you to get the ball out in front, because if you can get the ball out in front, you can use your momentum, you can keep your swing at the same path. That's going to make the balls go more forward at your opponent's feet, and that's going to help you pop less balls up in the air. It's very simple. Just be more efficient with your swing path. Be looser, absorb more, use your momentum, get your body into it, swing more forward. All you have to do is think back to basic physics. The more upward you swing, the more upward the ball is going to go. The more forward that you swing, the more forward the ball is going to go. If you want to cover less distance and get the ball in the kitchen, but keep it low, you need to swing more forward than up. The more upward you swing, the higher it's going to go. The more forward you swing, the more forward it's going to go. And how do we hit that drop again? We create the same swing speed, and we just push the ball forward and get our momentum into our shots. If you want to get up to the kitchen faster, you need to start trusting in your drops rather than waiting to see if your drop is good or not. And a lot of players, they end up shooting themselves in the foot because they stop their body because, oh, is it in? Is it out? Should I stay back? Should I move up? Should I go left? Should I go right? And that ends up stopping their momentum. They're just using their arms, and they're going to be more likely to pop the ball up. This is a way higher percentage of popping the ball up, or I'm more likely to do it, is if I hit, is it in? Is it out? Should I move back? Should I move up? Versus this. Okay, I trust in it and I go. Start trusting in your drop. Start getting your body automatically to move forward, and you're going to be good to go. What's going to happen is you're going to eventually get more confident and hit more drops in rather than pop more drops up. And by just going off of your drop and trusting in your drop, you're going to be able to be in a way better position rather than you typically were. And what I mean by this is if I just hit and wait to see, right? So I hit, is it in? Is it out? Oh, it's in. Okay, now when I hit, look, I'm in transition. This is the worst place to be. This is where you do not want to be. If your life depended on it, you would not want to take your chances on making a good shot or winning the point from here. If I trust my drop though, watch what's going to happen. Here we are. So I trust it, right? Here we are. Now when I hit it, look where I am. I'm up here now. Or I'm even closer to the net. A lot of times I had a good drop. I was playing with this one really good guy. He's like, Tyler, you're like kind of fast. You're athletic. Why can't you get up to the kitchen? I'm way slower than you, but I'm up to the kitchen every time you're back here. And that's why I feel like I can't win off my third shot drop, because I'm losing every time. The reason why is because my fifth, I was hitting it here every single time. The reason why I was afraid to see, is the ball in? Is the ball out? What's going to go wrong? And I'm losing back here. Even if I make the drop, even if I beat the odds for the drop, now I'm screwed for the next shot. Instead, just go up. Okay, if you pop the ball up too high, then guess what? Okay, you lose 1 point, but guess what? You should have lost a point. But if you make the drop good, now look at the position that you're in. You're in a way better position than when you typically were. So start trusting in your drops and really thinking that you're getting your momentum into your shot. That's going to help you go more forward too, because wherever your momentum and power goes to, the ball's going to go, and you're going to pop less drops up. The best way to do all these tips, all these tricks, is to go out and train and figure out what makes you pop up the ball, what makes you hit the ball too much in the net, what makes you do what, and how can you solve it. When you have X, solve for Y. When you have Y, solve for X. Start realizing what you're capable of, what you need to do, how you need to do it. Start getting tons of reps. Practice makes permanent, not perfect. Get that confidence. Use all these tips. Hit more drops in at your opponent's feet. Be selective. Absorb the pace, and you will do so much better next time you're on court. Remember, the best way to support this channel, we just released this membership subscription. If you want to become a Universal Rackets member, if you guys like my videos, best way to support this channel is to subscribe to a level 1 member. Your comments are priority. I will respond to everyone. We have a team at Universal Rackets, but I will actually respond to everyone, and you get a cool badge. Then if you join the second group, you can join our exclusive community group, and also we do a weekly Zoom call. Right now it's a small group of people, so they all come on every week. They get on with me, they ask questions, we go over tips, trainings, everything like that. So join. Basically get a small group lesson. Then tier number 3, I will look at your strokes. I think we'll have online private sessions where you will have a video call with me. We'll go over your strokes and everything like that. And tier 4, I think you get my phone number, my text. I analyze 4 of your matches. I do this. I'm doing so much for like the level 4. I don't think it's priced high enough, but it's the highest price that you can make on YouTube for this. So make sure to check it out. Make sure to share this with your group chat. Have a good one. Happy hitting. And we will see you guys next time on court. Later.